Hi, my name is Karolin and I will be doing my presentation on Rock Creek Wilderness in Cecil, Oregon. The Cecil National Forest is on the coast of Oregon. This park was opened in 1908 and stretches 630,000 square miles. Rock Creek Wilderness is a part of this park. This portion is permanently closed due to hard-to-find trails and untouched and unmapped portions of the forest. There are also endangered species and niche species who find their home in this area. The specific part of this park, Rock Creek Wilderness, spans 7,486 square acres and is in the Cascade Mountains, or more precisely, the Siskiyou Mountains. The trail runs alongside the river before stopping abruptly before you would enter the valley that lays between the two mountains, but it is not recommended to enter the valley as this may cause a disturbance in the biodiversity there. I chose this forest because I'm interested in the topic of untouched old-growth forests, and an old-growth forest is by definition an untouched or undisturbed forested area that has been undisturbed for a long time span. This kind of forest is also called a primeval forest in most cases. I also think that these forests are incredibly important due to nature and biodiversity, as these forests tend to have the most diverse ecological systems. And they also catch lots and lots of carbon. The older the tree, the more carbon it'll catch. The regional importance of this forest and this park is that it's one of the last native coastal rainforests, and this brings in a very diverse ecosystem along with the forest type that is being threatened in most other regions and states. This area also provides scenic hiking routes that have not been logged, thus keeping it untouched, or also known as a primeval forest. The topography is very mountainous and has many small rivers and creeks that break up the terrain. I included two images, one zoomed out of the entire park and one more zoomed in image of the area of Rock Creek Wilderness. The valley is in the center of the image, which has two mountains and rivers breaking up and separating Rock Creek Wilderness from the rest of the park. The environmental traits of this area are mostly comprised of the Cascade Mountains and rare plants and wildflowers that dominate this region. Some of these plants are the fawn lily, the pink sand verbena, and the Cascade head catchfly. The fawn lily in particular is very endangered and is being fostered on a private island to maintain its population in the wild. These can grow in many areas, but only grow in very few and select of these areas, and this creates an ecological paradox. There are also some species of tree that are particularly populous in this area, some of which are the western hemlock, the Douglas fir, and the western red cedar. Interestingly enough, the red cedar is not a true species of cedar according to its scientific genus. Some of the cultural characteristics include the communities in that area that are very eco-friendly and rely mostly on fishing instead of farming, for example. And further inland, vegetables are grown, and this accounts for much of the state's revenue. The area is mostly mountainous and rocky, and there are very few nearby towns and cities near this park. The history of this area is that it was settled by native populations long before Europeans decided to explore this area. Some of these native populations included the Nez Perce peoples and the Paiutes. After settlers had begun to explore this area, the Russians and the French began to trade in this area to dominate the fur trade. And before long, the first and second generation Americans began to settle the area, and Oregon became a state in 1859. The politics in this region is dominated by Democrats, and the current governor of the state is Kate Brown. The state has been claimed to be the happiest state with one of the highest well-beings in the country. The economy deems that the state is the healthiest state with the least amount of debt and one of the highest hourly wages in the country. This gives the state a high quality of life, and Oregon thrives on the fishing on the coast where the park is located, and also inland vegetables are produced and exported to other states and nations such as Canada. There are also many craft breweries, and two examples of smaller ones from Oregon are the 13 Virtues and the 1188 Brewing Company. Oregon is also known for the craft brewers and have more than any other state combined. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.